Welcome back to MCOC AlBundyRules. I got the new VULTURE Buff tutorial, but however I get into the tutorial on how to use them after this nice buff, let's look at some highlights that I took on some of the fights I used with them. No boost, nothing like that. This is an R1 unduped Vulture. Seen some very excellent damage when used right, and certain nodes do benefit him. These fights specifically are mainly coming from the Tech champ nodes and Cavalier EQ, which he was pretty much absolutely built for. Dude can cheese the Cav Tech EQ quest pretty dang easy, but believe me, he is quite good outside of that as well. So again, showing you a little bit of the major damage he can do right there. And then with that being shown, hopefully we like that damage, and now let's stick tuned for the tutorial. Let's see how to do all that. The Chitauri core charges, they're always active. You start at 50, you go to 100. Notice mine's going to 100 off the get-go. That's because due to immunity, I'm using a synergy I'll show that makes me poison immune, gives some extra little suicide friendliness there, and brings it up to 100. You spend 25 each time you do heavy to get an armor break. So you can keep building them up with critical hits, and you can spend them for things like armor break and also the exhaust burn. So if you dash back, you spend 10, so they cannot hit me when dashing back, kind of like a dexterity, I guess. And in fact, so when you do that dex type of thing, you take the 10, but you also inflict them with an incinerate, which is nice. And here's the rapture strike. So you dash back and do a medium dash immediately. If you hit it, it's going to drain 50% of the power. If you don't, it's going to give you a decoy miss chance, which I'm going to show that as well. And so we're going to see here, you see how I hit, you see that blue thing that popped up? So next time she tries to hit me and I don't do a well-timed block, you see that miss, guaranteed to miss right there. So thankfully it's not wasted on well-timed blocks, it waits to an actual miss. So let's look at the immunities. Automatically incinerate immune, so going to be great on those incinerate champs and incinerate fights, as we are seeing here against the Human Torch. We also see get the armor up buff, which could be good for those armor up buff fights, things like Havoc. Here, synergies can get extra immunity to include poison, giving them a little bit of suicide friendliness, and also shock immunity. Not only does he get immunities from those synergies, he also gets some extra attack. Special 1 and 2, what they do is trigger, they passively drain 25% of all power on the opponent. So special 1 and 2. So special 1 does the siphon charge debuff, lasts 15 seconds. All power drained by this debuff grants core charge proportional to the amount drained. So bars per charges. So you're going to get the extra bars. Watch on the left as that is drained. On those hits, I am gaining charges. So if you're having a hard time keeping charges up, the S1 could work. Here on the S2, you burn. Debuff lasts 20 seconds. Now power drained by this debuff inflicts direct damage proportional to the amount lost. So here, you hit them after you do the S2, and they get that big damage right there. You see those big red damages, and the big red damages I was showing at the beginning, that's from using the S2. That's going to be his main source of power. There's S2. I'm going to show more tips on that towards the end of the video, though. With the right nodes, as we can see, you can just smell through them. And here we will see Havoc right there, and just look at him getting completely melted away based on this specific node from this month's Cav EQ. Here there's special 3. This attack incinerates the enemy, dealing the energy damage over 20 seconds. It also removes perfect block chance and reduces the block proficiency while it's active. So if you're having a stubborn defender, the perfect block or block proficiency, well, there you go. This S3 could be pretty helpful there, which of course also gives that incinerate damage is nice. And if you're someone like me who runs suicides with the recoil, you can get that incinerate if you want to avoid some of the special 1 and 2. Signature ability, my highest awoke one is an R1 4-star. So we're seeing there he begins at full Chitauri core charges. Additionally, while the opponent is, you can gain some extra power. The specific one would only be 2%, so not a whole lot if there was an incinerate going on. But just to kind of show you his signature ability, not a whole lot I could do with that low rankable one. Synergies, we'll see some synergies there. I've shown some on the debuffs there. We also see the attack rate and immune to poison there, immunity to shock above that. We see the perfect block chance here on this synergy. See another synergy coming up with another perfect block chance. On Nemesis, you can gain extra attack, but he also has some good synergies with other champs. I'm going to show you here with Tigra. He can activate Rapture Strike, Positive Siphon charges, and Thermal Feedback debuffs for 5 seconds. So that's a nice one he has with Tigra. Another nice one he has with Mr. Fantastic, and this gives that power sting equal to 60%. So when you're seeing the power sting, you can stack it 3 times. That Mr. Fantastic synergy is very nice for that. So let's talk about tips for use. Take advantage of immunities and synergies. Automatically incinerate. Immune with synergies can also gain shock and poison immunity. The poison one can be very beneficial, especially to those of you who run suicide masteries. Can save you some lost damage right there. Additionally, not just the immunity, it also gives you some attack rating. You also have those 2 other synergies I just showed. The Mr. Fantastic one is good for power sting, and the one with Tigra is good for those pausing of the charges of the debuffs. So those are pretty nice synergies. So if you do have some extra room on your team, want to give Vulture a little bit more oomph bang for his buck, there's a good way to do it. And there you see some power sting damage going on right there. Tip number 2, build up to the S2. As you're getting close to the S2, on the power, what you want to do is start doing a couple heavies, 2, 3, or more heavies, depending on how many charges you got. Keep in mind they take 25 charges each, so you want to get some power breaks on before you do the S2. Again, you do some massive damage with the S2, so I'm getting closer to the S2, so I'm going to start knocking out some heavies here, build up those armor breaks based on how many charges I got. I'm going to launch this S2, see this nice damage going on. You see the Siphon Burn, Power Drain it. As I hit, I drain with the S2. As I drain with that hit, I'm also causing damage. Once I backed up, also caused it to incinerate. Saw some massive damage there. And we saw some of that at the beginning as well. Tip 3, use Vulture to cheese tech quests on current cab EQs. Bottom line, he's built for the current tech nodes of cab EQs. This is the nodes on there you see between power technician and kinetic transfer. But when he has this constant easy power drain between his S1, S2, his charge ability for medium backup medium dash, he's constantly going to be building up those theories, and he will absolutely cheese through that quest. So if you struggle with a tech quest in Cab EQ, bring Vulture along. He will just smoke right through it for you. So I'm hoping this video helped you. Don't forget to click that top left icon and subscribe to MCOC AlBundyRules. Be the first to get my new videos, new tutorials by subscribing and turn those notifications on. Don't forget to watch another video or check out my other many great tutorials in the playlist. Alright, thanks for watching MCOC AlBundyRules.